Are we feeding out to the people yet? This is my question. Okay, it looks like we are. It looks like we're feeding out to the folks out there. If you guys are hearing us loud and clear, welcome back to the show. This is the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. I appreciate everyone being here. Of course, I want to remind you guys to go to hankstrange.com, sign up for the email list there. Look around. That's the best place to find our complete list of links. There's a bunch of links that we cannot put up on whatever platform it is. Like YouTube doesn't want us putting up certain things, and you know how that goes. So check out hankstrange.com. Also, you look around, and Lola's got Lola's deals there. All kinds of good stuff. I do want to thank Barnauls, makers of Performance Steel Case Ammunition, for sponsoring the show. I'm gonna break out the precious. Someone's audio is coming through. Yeah, I'm gonna break out the precious. Let's see. This is 300 blackout here. I can show you guys. Look at that. 300 blackout. I don't know. We're going to get into this and many other things here. Also, if you guys, we have a link which I think I put in the chat already, and you can get it at hankstrange.com to US Law Shield. And if you sign up for a yearly annual membership, you can save some money, as well as a couple of those shekels will come back to us and help us to run the show here. So I appreciate anyone who does that. All right, that being said, I think we're ready to do this. If everyone's ready here, let me smash the open.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation.
All right, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash the thumbs ups, ring the bell so you can be notified every time we go live. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. I don't know where my bell. So hold on, let me see. I think I got a bell over here. Here we go. There you go. Bell has been rung. We are live. So that we do this thing here called Jazz Hands. Lewis knows that, but 32 Icon Olivia is joining us. We do this thing called Jazz Hands. Olivia, it goes like this. Everyone has to do it. You can throw your own style. There you go. Throw your own style in there if you want to. I hope you guys have your big girl panties on, because this is episode 802 of the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. I'm your host, Hank Strange, and our special guest tonight is 32 Icon Olivia. There she goes. What's up? Welcome to the show. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me. I had a little issue with trying to get on real quick, and my niece is coming in, so we hear noise.
Okay.
It's just life. I got kids running back and forth. So
That's all right. That's all right. I'm sure we all know how that is. Also joining us tonight is my friend Luis Valdes from Florida, and the Florida chapter of the GOA. What's up, Luis? How's it going, man?
Another day, man. Another day in sunny South Florida, and fighting the good fight for Second Amendment rights. And like usual, dealing with either our incompetent, trunkless pachyderms that claim to be pro-gun Republicans, and of course our Nazi Democrat running our CCW program.
Yeah. Yes, we've got quite a few things here that we're going to talk about here somewhere in the show, including why is Lewis in South Florida when he's supposed to be in Tallahassee. I'm sure we'll get to that here at some point. So everyone who's joining us, smash those thumbs up. If you're coming in here because of 32 Icon, let us know. Smash the thumbs ups, give shout outs. Hopefully you guys got a chance to share all this stuff before we came in. So if we're getting like a crossover of the fans from 32 Icon, let us know. If we're getting folks from GOA, let us know. I am a proud lifetime member of the GOA, along with many other things. If you just want a shout out, you can also let us know, and we'll try as much as we can to do that. Desert Wolf Armory is here and says 32 Icon's biggest fan. What's this hashtag? Pistol gang?
Oh,
What does that
it's
mean?
an inside joke. What's going on, Desert Wolf? That's an inside joke, but that's my man right there. He has a pretty big channel too, so
Okay, cool. Shout out.
thanks for showing your support. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Shout out to Desert Wolf Armory. And the Armsman says, "Uh-oh, it's Icon." There you go.
Hey guys, I appreciate the support. I really do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So welcome to the show here. I don't know how many folks out there have heard of you or seen your stuff. I know I've seen a couple things on YouTube. from you, as well as I saw you on with Smash Time, who's been on. Maybe we'll see him here at some point in the show. Santi TV says, "Hey y'all, it's 32 Icon." There you go. So yeah, she says I'm her biggest fangirl. There you go.
Yeah,
So
she's awesome. I like CT.
yeah, for the folks out there, let the folks, tell the folks, who are you? What do you do? How did you wind up doing what you do? If that, yeah.
Well, I just kind of came out of nowhere. Basically, what happened was that I had a few days off from work, and so I basically was like, I wonder who else is out there that could, shoot guns, ride motorcycles, play poker, that sort of thing. And so my niece encouraged me to start a YouTube channel just to kind of like talk to the people. And unbeknownst to me, most of my subscribers are men, but I was actually looking for like-minded women as well because there
Mm-hmm.
were no women shooters. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, it escalated into this, and it was supposed to be a channel about a plethora of things, and it ended up just being firearms only.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really was just to talk to people, have fun, engage. And I was just surprised how it snowballed into what it is now. But when I came on, there weren't any Black women shooting firearms. There weren't Black women on YouTube doing anything outside of maybe cosmetics or maybe some technology videos. But specifically in the firearms community, not one, not on YouTube, maybe on Instagram, maybe on Facebook, but definitely not on YouTube. So I was surprised when later on I started to see other women watch my channel. So
Okay.
yeah, that's kind of how it started.
So you've been doing this for what, like about 4 years or something like that?
Yes,
Okay.
in October to be 4 years. Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. So, what is your background in this? I guess were you in the military? Are you law enforcement? Do you work in a gun store? What's the background?
None of it. In fact, when I started, I just like to shoot. Like I watched other YouTubers. I learned pretty much from other quality trained YouTubers, and then I started taking classes. And then last year, I became an NRA certified instructor
Cool.
and taught a couple of classes. But outside of that, no, I don't have any law enforcement background, military. I just love firearms. I like to train. And a fun fact, actually, I haven't been to the range to shoot in about maybe a month and a half, 2 months,
Oh, shame
just
on
because I've
you.
been, I know, just because I've been busy with other things.
Right.
But that's probably the longest I've gone without any type of live fire shooting.
Okay, so you don't work in the firearms industry or anything like that. Okay. Why you laughing, Lewis?
Because I understand. I haven't gone shooting in a damn long while myself. I know the
That's what I was
feeling.
thinking. I'm sure right now there's quite a few people, especially with the ammo thing. There's people like, well, I'm not gonna shoot any of my
Ammo's not
ammo right now.
ammo's not a problem for me. It's damn time. I just haven't
Oh,
been able to get
yeah,
damn
yeah,
time to go shooting.
yeah. It look, it happens. When you go shooting, do you go to like an outdoor range, indoor range? Where do you go shooting?
Mainly indoor, but I like shooting outdoor, preferably. But
Mm-hmm.
I have to drive so long to get anywhere that's outdoors,
Mm-hmm.
like minimum an hour. And so I'm always typically stuck with indoor shooting. But
Oh.
I mean, you shoot paper over time, it does get a little cumbersome and kind of boring. You
Mm-hmm.
want to hear the
Mm-hmm.
ring of that steel.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know,
Yeah.
I try to get outside, but more often than not, it's indoors.
Yeah. Can we inquire exactly where you live? What part of the country? Or
Yeah, yeah. I live in Connecticut. I live in
okay.
like the Fairfield County, Connecticut. So
Okay.
yeah, we got some. It's Connecticut.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not this. It's not Texas.
Yeah, yeah. Connecticut is like kind of like a weird place. I mean, I don't want to say it's all the way anti-gun. I think in some ways Connecticut is a little bit easier than some other states out there. But then at the same time, there's a lot of rules and laws in Connecticut that do get in the way of people owning guns, or even shooting and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, Connecticut is becoming more anti-gun by the minute.
Mm-hmm.
And like right now, we have this issue. I know there was another YouTuber who talked about it, but we're having an issue now where you have to pretty much call the state to get authorization when you want to purchase a firearm, and they have to run a background check. And so when they do that, it could take, 5 minutes. It could take 50 minutes, depending on, if your name is common, my name isn't. So it takes
Mm-hmm.
me 2 minutes to get through. However, right now, they supposedly upgraded the system and it's been shut down for the last couple of weeks. You can't get through. You can't call. Firearm purchases can't go through. Gun stores
Mm.
are in an uproar.
That sounds
Personal transfers
shady.
are held.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like they're like an organization here that's trying to fight it. And actually, like I want to say they filed some type of lawsuit, basically saying that this is an infringement. They're not. I mean, even if they're upgraded, it's very shady of how it's being done. And
Mm-hmm.
so for the last month or so, like the gun sales have to just kind of plummeted because you can't get through, and obviously you cannot purchase a gun without doing a background check here in Connecticut. You have to have a state authorization number.
Yeah.
So it's horrible.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lewis. I know you want to jump in. Obviously,
No,
you're with Gun Owners of America.
I was just going to say, yeah, because in Connecticut they ban private sale of firearms, right? You can't do a private
Mhm.
transfer, so everything has
No,
to be done through a dealer.
no, you can do a private sale, but you too have to call the state and they have to run your background and give you an authorization number. You can't
Wow.
just,
So even if
yeah.
you're, so even if let's say it's you and your roommate, you want to sell them a pistol, you still have to call in and do a background check on that individual.
Mm.
Of
Connecticut.
course. So this is another fine example of of a right delayed is a right denied, thus turning a right into a privilege.
Yeah.
It's horrible. And the worst thing is Connecticut, was the Gun Valley. I mean, you had Colt.
Yeah.
Colt was headquartered out of Connecticut. You
Mm-hmm.
had
Mossberg, Stag Arms, I believe.
Walther,
Yeah. Stag
Ruger,
Arms. Yeah.
Stag
Mm-hmm.
Ruger.
Arms. I'm trying to think who else.
There's
U.S.
what is it? It's like
Firearms.
there's a Charter. Is it Charter Arms? Charter.
I'm not sure if
Do
Charter.
they
Yeah,
I
make?
know. I know
yeah, yeah,
Connecticut
yeah,
Shotgun is there or Standard Manufacturing. They're not
yeah.
as well. Okay, Connecticut Shotgun is pretty old. They've been around for a long time. I don't know if you're aware of Connecticut Shotgun. That's the
No.
same company as Standard Manufacturing. They make that DP12 bullpup, the
Yep,
bullpup shotgun with it's like a double barrel shotgun.
Oh
yep.
no, I didn't know
I
that.
know the one
Yeah.
you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, they're in Connecticut, but I think the Standard Manufacturing part is kind of new. It's the same company essentially, but they've been making bespoke shotguns in Connecticut for a long time. For a long time. I the last time I was in Connecticut, I was actually visiting them, and so they make shotguns that start at about $70,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's a nice place. If you should look that up.
You
It's a
should look
nice
that
place
up.
to go visit.
I'm gonna
Yeah, I
have to
may
swing
have
by that
to.
then.
Yeah.
Sounds
Let's.
like a road trip, Hank.
Yep. Absolutely. So, I'm not sure when's the next time I'm going back up there. And by the way, let me just say this quickly. Vanessa Kitty is also in Connecticut. She's saying that right now. So, there you
Oh,
go.
okay. Yeah, I'm trying to like look at some of the comments
Yeah,
here.
maybe you'll get a new fan there. So let's see here. So James Pallerin says, "Isn't Connecticut anti-gun?" Connecticut is weird. It's relatively easy for you to get your CCW. Am I right or wrong on that?
No, for the most part it is. I
Okay.
mean, they just want your money and they make you wait a little bit. But
Hmm.
I think with our new governor, he's anti, our legislators are anti, like I mean, it's getting worse.
Hmm.
In fact, I was encouraging people when I did my permit class, I was actually encouraging, especially women. I was like, listen, y'all need to stop playing. Come on out here, get your permit. Let's go because our politicians are not gun friendly, and so pretty soon they're either going to jack up the prices so that you won't be able to afford it. You're going to be priced out, or they're just going to ban a whole bunch of things. Kind of like how they banned assault rifles here. So we have what we call others. And it's so funny because I did a video a long time ago on others, and I got so many people from other states like that's a AR pistol, that's illegal, you got the foregrip on there. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
listen, this is called an other, but other free states didn't understand why I had the foregrip and things of that nature. So I
Hmm.
was getting ridiculed in the comments, and now all of a sudden everyone know what others are. And I'm like, I'm not just putting out false, information. I'm not illegally posting
Yeah.
firearms on my YouTube channel. Like, it's within the law. But anyway, that's how we have to kind of get around it. And pretty soon that loophole is going to be closed too. So it doesn't matter. I'm talking about it. They're already trying to figure out how they're going to close it.
Yeah, Connecticut does have. What I thought was interesting when I visited Standard Manufacturing, they're making ARs and stuff like that, right? They're still, so far as I know, they're still making them, and they're selling them all over the country. But the people who work there cannot own an AR that's new.
Well,
I think
it's
it
the
has to
same
be
thing.
pre-ban or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's we can yeah, it's like it's weird. It's like we can have ARs, but it has to be the pre-ban before the 1994 assault rifles ban
Yeah.
went into
Hmm.
play.
Hmm.
And so with that, when you purchase pre-bans here for you, you'll get a regular AR and it costs
Hmm.
you $7, $8, $900. For
Hmm.
us, those pre-bans are like $2,000, $2,100. So
Hmm.
that's what we had to get before it was discovered that we can have others. And
Yeah.
that drastically dropped the price, and it
Yeah.
made the barrel shorter. And all you
Yeah.
had to do was just navigate
Right.
a
So
front
I know
a
Lewis
forward.
right now is probably tempted to go get his pre-banned AR, but you can't show any guns while we're on the show.
Yeah, you
So
can't.
yeah.
What?
So Lewis, if you're tempted, don't do it. We can't show.
Ah,
Take a picture. If you have a picture or something, you can send it to. You can, yeah. I knew exactly what Lewis was doing when he got up. I was like, man, did I forget to tell Lewis he can't go
yeah,
grab anything?
let,
It's a
let me
good
get
thing you
this.
didn't go. It's a good thing you didn't go grab anything, Lewis.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good
Otherwise,
thing.
I'd have to say shame on you.
But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking. You're talking about the
Right.
1994 Clinton assault weapons ban, which a
Hmm.
lot Massachusetts is similar in the same ways that you could only have a pre-banned firearm, and that
Hmm.
is anything that was legal prior to 1994. So I was going to grab my Colt SP1, which is a pre-ban, which here in
Hmm.
Florida it's an $800 an AR, but I know up in Massachusetts and Connecticut it's worth a couple
It's
of
gold.
grand.
It's gold. It's gold. What do you know? Do you know, Olivia? What do you prefer we call you? Olivia, 32 Icon, 32
Olivia,
Icon.
Olivia, Liv, 32 Icon. It doesn't
Okay,
matter to me,
all right.
honestly.
Yeah. So do you know what ARs are, like pre-bans are going for right now? Do you even
Yeah,
try to get
well,
into that? Or
I will say they dropped in price since we now have others. But
uh
prior to that, just the lower was like 1,100, 1,200, depending on the manufacturer. But if you get you get a pretty solid manufacturer, you're looking at 12, $1,300, and then you have to add the other. I'm sorry, then you have to have the upper. But if you got it completed, 22, 21, sometimes $2,300.
hmm.
And that's bare bones. That's, no optic, no, you get rid of that ugly A2 grip, no backup iron size, none of that. It was just bare bones. You had to add
Hmm.
a good trigger, you had to add all that stuff.
Yeah. Shout out to
Wow.
Mr. Big Kid. I see Mr. Big Kid out there. He says he was born and raised in Connecticut. That's another gun tuber. Mr. Big Kid, he was
All
on
right.
last week. What did he say?
Awesome.
Bethany and Woodbridge. And he says, now I live in the great state of Arizona. Have you considered moving? Can you? I don't know what you do for a living or if you want to put that out there.
No,
Um,
I mean, I wanted to. I moved. Oh,
mhm.
so basically, I was gone. I was done with Connecticut, and this is well before firearms. I just got into firearms 5 years ago, but
Mhm.
I didn't want to come back. I came back because my sister was very young. She died from cancer, and I basically took over the care of my nieces. So I
Mhm.
found myself stuck back here in Connecticut. And they were in school,
Mhm.
they were young, they were in elementary school. Both of my parents were here. Um, and I kind of take care of my parents. I help them out. And my mom passed away this past February. So that I
Oh
was like
man.
devastated with that.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
rough.
have my father, he's still, it's tough. So
Mhm.
for me to just get up and leave, that's why sometimes when people say, oh, just get out of Connecticut, just move, just leave.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost ignorant because what you're saying is that you're just one person, you can do what you want to do. When you have responsibilities and commitments and longevity in a place and you just don't get up and leave. I mean, you can, but it's irresponsible, but you don't get up and leave. I mean, I have so many responsibilities here. I would love to leave, but now that my niece has gone off to college, I still have my father to make sure that he's doing what he's supposed to do, just
Mm-hmm.
to, parents get older and they kind of do their own thing. So would I love to leave? Absolutely. Do I think I probably would have gotten more opportunities on my channel with different firearms to review and such without the laws here in Connecticut? Absolutely. But this is where I am. This is where my career is and my family. And so the
Yeah.
possibility of me leaving, although it's very sad to come to terms with, I probably won't. I probably will be here.
Yeah.
I
It's go
I
ahead. Go
get
ahead, Lewis.
no, I was just saying I get that and I understand it. I mean, I have
Mm-hmm.
half my family, they're stuck in Union City and Hoboken and all that, all up in New Jersey, and they can't leave for the same reason because they have family ties, they have business ties.
Mm-hmm.
When people say, "Oh, it's just easy to pack up and move," yeah, it's easy to pack up and move if you have no responsibilities tying you down.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do, there is familial responsibilities. So I get
Yeah.
it. I completely get it.
And isn't it a shame that in America, you're denied your constitutional rights, and so you have to move if you want to get them, and then you can't look. Ultimately, and I moved. I grew up in New York City, and I lived in New Jersey before we came to live in Florida. And one of the reasons I came here is because of my easier access to guns and stuff like that. But even Florida has anti-gun laws, and what we have to do is ultimately fight back because any state that's denying your access to the Second Amendment is denying you your constitutional rights. So ultimately we need to fight back. So I think there's multiple things there, including lots of people just cannot pick up and leave. That's
Right.
just not the way that it works for everyone. So Vanessa Kitty is saying, I see this here. Vanessa Kitty said a pre-banned strip near me now close to $3,000.
Oh, they
Insane.
probably have gone up since the whole COVID thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't even look at them now. I own a few of them. And oh, and by the way, this is important to know. When you have a
Mm-hmm.
pre-ban here in Connecticut,
Mm-hmm.
it can be SBR, but you have to go through a whole process. You cannot SBR and other. It has to have the pistol brace. So that's important to
It
know
has to
if
have
you,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, this it's man, it's just too bad that that's going on.
I'm
Who?
trying to log on with a better
Oh,
camera. Hold
oh,
on.
you're logging in with a different thing. Okay, I'll answer that over there. I was like, why is Lewis calling me? Oh, now yeah,
Is
you're
your
gonna have
house a sauna?
yeah. Let's see if we can get him back. There we
There.
go.
There we
Okay,
go. Oh
yeah,
yeah, I may have to log it from a different camera too. I don't
yeah. You
know.
may have to go sideways, Lewis. I don't know. It's up to you. Yeah, are you
So
having some? Are you guys having some kind of signal problems? I don't know if that's on my end. If you guys are out there, let us know if there's any problems with the signal coming through, and if there's any other questions here. Um,
Actually, hey, can you just
mhm.
kind of go off camera? I mean, put me off camera for a second. Let me just
Uh,
fix something here. All right,
all right,
awesome. Thank you.
all right. There you go.
I can still hear you though.
Yeah, we're just gonna,
there we go.
yeah. You're not grabbing a big bazooka right now. It's not.
Is Mike
No,
Is that a
no,
Mark
no.
any better?
bazooka? I think it's kind of looking the same. I don't know.
Huh.
You know,
Okay.
yeah. Let's see.
Oh
Mr.
well.
Yeah. Just go with that for now. Mr. Big Kid says, "Look at the bright side. Connecticut has amazing autumns and amazing transitional seasons. Nothing like the smell of leaves in the fall and the smoke from fireplaces in the air, and the grass is always greener."
All
And
right,
he's
I'll
hang up
stick with
back.
not
yeah,
freezing to death during winter.
yeah, and he says, "Crap, now I'm homesick." So there you go. Um, yeah, listen, it's nice if you like the snow and stuff like that. Up north is nice. It's a lot nicer when you get access to your gun rights. Okay, so let me. I don't know if folks have questions. I'm trying to scroll through. There's a lot of comments and stuff like that going up. I would ask everyone to smash the thumbs ups that's coming in here. You know, we need that. We're fighting the algorithm, all that kind of stuff. If you're just joining, we have Luis Valdes of GOA Florida, as well as 32 Icon on with us right now. So. Where did the name 32 Icon come from, Olivia?
Well, back in the day, I used to shoot a little hoops, nothing crazy, but that was my jersey number. And then what happened was I used to ride motorcycles, and so my first gear, like the first gear I bought, was called Icon gear. And when I went on YouTube, I didn't really want people to know my name. I still think people are a little weird. I don't care. I don't, listen, don't get mad at me. That's just my experience. People are a little weird.
You mean people are creepy and weird on the internet? No,
not at all. That can't
Yeah,
possibly
so
be.
because of that, I was just like, well, let me think of a name, and I was like 32 Icon, and so it just stuck with me, and I've always used that name. Now I tell you my name. I'm sure you could Google. I mean, and I hate the fact that you can Google everyone's information. I think that's a violation of rights. But now, I say my name. But in the beginning, that's why I had 32 Icon. I didn't want to.
Yeah,
I was
you're
scared.
trying to avoid marriage proposals, right? Is that the number one enemy of female YouTubers? Marriage proposals constantly.
Let me tell you, you guys, like the male YouTubers, especially in the 2A community, you get so much grace. But like if I say something, it has to be fact checked, or people will feel like they could say certain things to me because I'm a female. And I'm just like, guys, I'm just trying to have fun on this channel. If you want to come and have fun, great. If you don't, go somewhere else. But they may not like what I do, but they just hang out. And I'm like, if you don't like it, or you're offended, or I misspoke, or what have you, go somewhere else. But I think for you guys, because I go in the comments, y'all don't get that much antagonizing like women. Yeah, I'm telling you. It's like men feel like they could say what they want to women. They really do. Not all, of course, I'm not saying all. I'm just saying those who choose to partake in that disrespectful behavior. But it's like y'all have more grace than we do.
Yeah. Hold on. One quick second. Flying Rich gave us $2. Thanks, we appreciate it.
Money.
He says Lewis who?
Money.
you know Flying Rich. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you agree with that? Lewis? Do you think that the guys were getting a break because we're dudes?
I would say yes and no. It depends on the audience and the subject matter, because but even before that, I just want to say, look, you're doing a great thing. The largest growing segment of shooters in America now are minorities and women. So no matter what the idiots online say, keep up the good work. You are a strong Second Amendment ambassador, and it's people like you that help defend our rights, first and foremost. So thank you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, I would agree with that and echo it.
And secondly, I would love to switch places with you, because I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a lobbyist, so I go up to Tallahassee and deal with all the reprehensibles, and I get yelled at by lawmakers saying I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So I'd love to just deal with commenters on YouTube. Please, can we switch places?
Yeah, listen.
But I get to stay in Florida. That's the catch.
Yeah, listen. This is from Mr. Big Kid. He says, "I don't get a break. I get torn apart." People tear me. People are always trying to. People correct me. They're always like, "Oh, you guys are not being safe." There's certain things I would agree with you on. So first of all, as a male YouTuber, I do not get marriage proposals. Okay, I don't get females on YouTube stalking me, trying to get with me.
You're married though.
I don't even get dudes. I don't even get dudes trying to stalk me and get married to me, which is I'm happy for that. And,
hey, I'm offended, man. I stalked you because of your Daewoo video. What are you talking about?
Okay, I'm
offended by that.
I wasn't ready to reveal that yet. But I still think though that so the nature of people on YouTube, and Lewis's operative words, idiots on YouTube, You know, there's a lot of
Thanks for
those.
shifting the blame on me.
Yeah, there's a lot of those. I'm not talking about the folks in this chat, the awesome people in the chat. Sometimes we have some terrible people in the chat. That's why we have moderators. But there's always people willing to correct you, tell you that you're wrong, making investigations. You know, like people. Someone. I have my own range. I live in Florida. One of the biggest things that's always on YouTube. It looks like you're shooting in a park. I live in Florida. Okay, it's my property. You know, okay, it might look like a park to you, but you know. And then there was one guy trying to really get at me. He was like, "I'm really worried that kids, you know, there might be kids, and kids are precocious, and they might climb behind the berm." I'm like, where does this guy think that there's a park with berms that you could shoot at the berms in the park?
I take it they haven't been to North Central Florida, where it's home of nothing but you and mosquitoes and gators.
Yeah. Or even sometimes people complain because they could see cars driving by sometimes when we're shooting videos. Yeah, that's because there's a road that's going parallel to the direction that we're shooting in. Those cars aren't going to get hit unless we aim in that direction, which we obviously don't do. Right? So it's so there's always people on the internet willing to challenge everything you say, you know, threaten you, double check you. But I would concede the fact that I think if you're a woman, there's even more scrutiny. But also, I want to say this: does it come with being a woman that you also get more male viewers? Just because, you know, most of us dudes like looking at the ladies.
I don't know. I think
is there a little bit of benefit? Go ahead.
I think from the comments and the people who reach out to me, like I just have men who really enjoy my content. I think the ones who watch don't look at it like, oh, I'm just watching because I find you to be sexy or something like that. Although I do get those comments, but I think I want to say that my subscribers watch me because they enjoy my content. From what I've seen in the comments, they're like, listen, I love your channel. I get this a lot. Thanks to you, my wife is now shooting. She was afraid, blah, blah, blah. She didn't see other women on YouTube. I'm not saying there weren't other women before I started my channel. I'm saying I didn't see other Black women shooting. There were other women because I was following, I think it was like a girl in a gun. And there was another woman that I was following. She was actually pretty good. But I think when they tune in, I think they just like the content that I give them. Of course, you got those who are going to make the side comments, but like, you're pretty or will you marry me, stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure there's some dudes trying to get at you in the DMs.
Yeah, listen, I just mind my business. All I do is try to put out a little bit of content, and that's it. I mind my business. That's it. Yeah. I don't bother nobody. And sometimes I don't even read the DMs because, like I said, there's some very nice people and very intelligent people. They have corrected me in my videos politely and respectfully, of course. And I'm like, oh, thank you for educating me. I misspoke or I didn't understand that, or now I have a better understanding. And then there are some people who reach out in the DMs who are just weirdos, and I just have to block them. So I never know what I'm going to get when I go to a DM or an email. So I always go with hesitation.
Yeah. Did you want to add something, Louis?
I just wanted to say that, I kind of understand where you're coming from, because since I've become the state director here in Florida, and I've done a lot of outreach to different groups like Girl in a Gun and the DC Project and all that, I get I hear the same thing from a lot of women, especially women that want to get into shooting. And it's this interesting dichotomy. Some of the best students I've ever had are women that want to learn how to shoot, because they come in and all they do is they want to learn how to shoot. They don't come in with the macho, pompous attitude of, oh, I know what I'm doing because I'm a guy. Ha, ha, ha. No, they just come in as like, hey, look, I don't know never handled a gun before. I want to shoot. They learn and they excel at it. I mean, they're fantastic. And I could say this, my wife is one of them. She's fantastic at that. But yeah, you definitely get the creepier level of people that do weird stuff than Hank or I would probably get. So again, hats off to all the hard work you do.
Yeah, absolutely. None of these things should be a reason to stop. I think that's the thing I was trying to say. Look, people just always have, when I started, when I and I'm trying to remember how long I had my channel going before I started growing a mohawk. I think maybe like a year or something like that. And then people like, why do you have a mohawk? Black guys don't have mohawks. You know, what's the what? You know, just people come up with really stupid things. Oh, we lost her there for a second. Press
Uh-oh.
the press the wrong button on the thing. So, oh, here we go. Okay.
You broke
Okay.
the machine, didn't you,
Yeah.
Hank?
Yeah. Did you hang up on us? Did you? Oh, now your
No,
audio's
I
not
think
there. Oh,
I
there you
booted. I told.
go.
Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear you. Uh huh.
Me?
Yeah.
I told Lola that we've been having some connection issues around here. I know our cable guy's coming out, so it probably just booted me off. I apologize.
No, that's cool. Gentile Killer says 32 Icon, aka Buckshot Betty. There you go. um, and then Brian Quick wants to know: are there any Roman gun channels, as in Italian? At this point, I think there's at this point there's a lot of people doing gun stuff on YouTube. But I would agree with you. I think if you go back, even I started doing this like 8 years ago. In that time, there's been a lot of people getting on YouTube at doing gun stuff. You know, I think even from the time you started doing it, there's been a lot of people. Who are the major people that you liked looking at when you started doing this?
Me or Lewis?
I'm you. That's you,
Oh, okay.
Olivia. Yeah.
Um, I watched John Lovell, who is a Warrior Poet Society now.
Okay.
I
Mhm.
watched Such Double O because anytime I needed to know anything about my firearm, he knew everything. I
Mhm.
watched Travis Haley for my grips.
Okay.
Like I watched oh man, I think it was like Reed Hendricks early on.
Mhm.
I watched Polion Noir just to educate myself on like the politics of it all.
Some good
I
people.
watched yeah, I'm telling you, like I would watch quality YouTubers who were trained and who, you can just tell they knew their stuff and safety was important. And
Mhm.
then whatever drills that, and I'm probably missing a bunch of people because I'm telling you, I was all over YouTube. I was glued on the weekends when I wasn't working,
Mhm.
and then I would go to the range and I would do exactly what they told me to do. And it was this one video I was like shooting like the like teacup, and I'm shooting with like
Mhm.
but one eye open. I was like, I found a video with like Such Double O, and it was like shoot with both eyes open. And I was like, well,
Mhm.
I've already been doing this for like 2 months or so. Like, I can't do that. And I came in my kitchen, I went down to my basement, I put that little target up, and I would just practice with both eyes open. So now I
Mhm.
don't know how to shoot with one eye closed unless I'm shooting like through a scope or something like that every now and
Mhm.
again. But I just learned so much by watching trained YouTubers, and I would do whatever they said do, I would do it. And then I took a couple of classes, and to my surprise, I was actually a little more advanced than the people that were in the classes. But
Mhm.
I was also practicing at home, dry firing. I was like really into it, which is shocking why I haven't been to the range in like 2 months
No,
now.
you
But
sound like, I mean, because it's interesting to me that you came. So when you were a kid, there was no shooting in the family. You didn't live somewhere where you guys went hunting. None of that. And your
I will
education is
say,
from YouTube, which is like you're the one amazing person who actually learned something on YouTube. Sorry.
yeah, like I promise you. And then I learned so much from YouTube, and then I would start buying firearms. I would tinker a little bit, and
Mhm.
I just continue to educate myself. Listen, you can find out this. It's all about doing the research, right? It's all about how
Mhm.
committed you're going to be to something. But I'm that type of person. If I want like a purifier for my home, I won't just buy a random purifier. I want the best bang for my buck. So I will do and read all of the reviews before I make a purchase. But I'm anal like that. Most times I don't even have to do that. Most people don't even do that, but that's how I am. So now I'm working with firearms. I better do my research. I better be anal about what's going on, right?
Mhm.
If I'm
Mhm.
working with firearms.
Mhm.
And so I promise you, I just study, and then I realized that I would know more than the guy behind the counter, and that was kind of scary. And I'm like, is that supposed to be that way? And I guess it's kind of like an Audi customer going into the dealership to buy a car, right? For the
Mm-hmm.
most part, and I say Audi customers because I used to be like an assistant manager for Audi. I used to
Oh,
sell
you
cars
were.
way back in the
Oh,
day.
oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
way back
That's.
when.
I love Audi cars,
And
by the way. I'm a big fan of Audi. So you
oh,
just said the right
really?
words to make me happy. Lewis
Now
is
you're like
shaking his
perked
head.
up.
I don't know what's wrong with him. Apparently,
German
Audis have
cars
done
are
him wrong.
German cars are excellent, but basically
German
what?
cars are
Well,
excellent if you want them to break.
Oh, Audis are
well, they're gonna.
Audis are good cars, man. Don't even start.
Yeah, they're.
Don't-
Well,
Yeah.
I worked. The reason why I bring that up is because I worked for an Audi dealership, and it was Audi and Volkswagen. And
Hmm.
basically, the Volkswagen customers, you had to sell them the car. They needed to know. They didn't know what they were getting. You needed to
Hmm.
sell them a car. The
Hmm.
Audi customers would come in, and typically they would know more than I did about the car. It wasn't about me selling them the car. It was pretty much me
Yeah.
processing the paperwork and
Hmm.
making them comfortable with their purchase. They knew more than I did. So I say that and using that as an analogy as sometimes I would go to the gun store and I
Hmm.
already knew what I wanted. I knew everything about the firearm, but I would ask to see what you knew to see if I almost like to confirm
Hmm.
my purchase. And that's when I discovered like, some of these people don't know what they should know behind the counter, but
Hmm.
I'm not blaming them. It could just be because like an Audi customer, I was an enthusiast
Hmm.
for, firearms.
Yes.
So
Yes, I
Good
agree
for
with.
you.
Yeah.
That is fantastic. And look,
That's the way it should be, right? I think
yeah,
that's the service that potentially should be offered on YouTube. Nowadays YouTube is doing a lot of blocking of things and making it difficult for people to find this stuff. But I think that's the thing, and not to teach you everything, but to help you out along the way, so that if you don't have access to a lot of this information, or you don't have a friend or a family member that can bring you along, you can take a look at that stuff and get some advice, and then actually get hands on, go to the range, get hands on, and continue, and just keep diving into it. Go ahead, Lewis.
one of the greatest things about folks like you is that you are able to help those that, as Hank said, that don't have personal access to to a source of knowledge.
Hmm.
And it's people like you that, because that's how you got into it, by other people like that. But it's people like you that act as Second Amendment ambassadors, and that you have that welcoming face and that positive charm, and you provide that information basically free of charge to the public,
Hmm.
and you grab their interest, and you get them excited about it, and you get them to want to learn, because that's the biggest thing. You could have the most knowledgeable person in any subject, but if they're boring as hell, no one's going to want to listen. They're going to
Hmm.
be bored out. But you do it, and you're positive about it. You make it exciting. So
Hmm.
again,
Yeah.
kudos to you for what you do.
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Looking at your stuff, you're always upbeat and smiling and happy, and natural. Having a good time. Len Holt, I'll just get some comments in. Len Holt says, "I always like 32 icons disclaimer with the click of the tongue and the wink." There you go.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You know, for those who don't know, I started that because basically people in the comment section, were just being themselves, right? And they would say things like, you don't know, or I don't agree with you, or this, that, and the third. So toward the end, I don't know if you guys know, but I'm like, hey, it's 32 icon, blah 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 blah. And I was like, what was it? I say, but hey, I'm just a YouTube personality. Take what I say with a grain of salt and do your own research. And I kind of like click and, that sort of thing. But
Mhm.
that was to people who, you don't have to watch my channel. Go do your own research. When I could be wrong, I could misspeak, I could completely misunderstand the information that I'm trying to interpret to you. So do
Mhm.
your own research, just like I do with other YouTubers. When they come on, I'll look at their channel, I'll look what they have to say, and then I'll do my own research to confirm or say, hey, this is actually legit, or maybe I need to look at this firearm, or maybe, this trigger isn't the best based on what he said. I don't know, just do your own research. Listen, I'm not the end all be all. And when I look at other YouTubers and the information that they give, I don't know a thing in comparison. I do not know. I'm very basic on my education, very basic. But I go to other channels and I'm like, wow, they know the ins and outs. And I appreciate that. But listen, do your own research. And that's the thing. People are lazy. People don't want to read. They don't want to dive in. They don't want to dig deeper. They want you to tell them the information. Sometimes I even get on my niece about that. I'm like, no, use your brain, critical thinking. What do you think? Right? If this is this and this is that, what do you like? What consensus have you made from that? Go do the research. I'm not going to give you the answer. And I think in general, we're lazy. We just want someone to give us the answer. We don't dig deeper. And me, I have to dig because I don't trust anyone. I don't trust anything. So I'm always researching.
You make a perfect gun chick right there, or gun person. I don't know, whatever it is that works for you. Because I think that's most of our attitudes, right? You know,
Yeah.
trust but verify. I mean, we want to figure things out for ourselves. And by the way, what you did is the same thing that I did 8 years ago. I wasn't in the military, wasn't in law enforcement, you know, didn't know that much about this stuff, and I just jumped in and I spent a lot of time looking at guys on YouTube, you know, and there were people who came before me that I spent a lot of time looking at them, like Night and Fancy, Military Arms Channel, you
Yeah.
know, all that kind of stuff. Some of the people that you mentioned, including Such, you know, Reed Hendricks, for example. So, you know, I think that this is what it is. It's kind of a funny thing, right? It's a good thing and a bad thing what you just said about people not wanting to read and find out things for themselves. Not everyone is like that. I don't think you're saying everyone's like that, but this is
Yeah.
probably what's up with the rise of social media. You
Mhm.
know?
The,
Yeah.
the you know, it's interesting. Speaking of social media and people not wanting to find it, look at how people just grab onto a headline and they don't read an article.
Hmm.
And that's always a case, especially when it comes to gun related news or something involving legislation or politics.
Hmm.
They'll read a nasty headline, but they won't read the meats and potatoes of the article that actually delves into it.
Hmm.
I will agree. I'll say first of all, the military arms channel. I think he has the dopest theme song. The way it just comes in. First of all,
Oh, with
I
the
love that. I've been
bullets,
watching him.
the
Yeah,
bullets drop.
it's the
Have
song.
you
It's
ever
like
met him? Have you ever met him? No.
no, but I've
Okay.
been watching him before my channel. He knows his stuff. Like
Yeah,
he's one
he's a
of
good
those
dude.
guys that I've
Yep.
watched forever. But going back to the social media thing, is that one of the biggest things for me is that you have to be a student of learning, not knowledge, right? Because knowledge is just like it's like in school. You can get all the knowledge and you'll know it for the test, but then when you need to take that information and apply it next year, you forget because you didn't learn, right? You just memorize the information. That's knowledge. Learning is applying it, right? So I think with even with like social media and the information that we get, some people are especially like a 2A enthusiast. Like we're stuck in our mentality that this is right, that's wrong. And we don't continue to learn. We don't continue to take the information and say, you know what? I may have thought about it this way, but according to this new information or according to the data here, this actually might be true and this may have once been true, but now there's learning that has taken place. Same thing for politics. We might be stuck in the area of this is what it is, and then as we do more research, we learn more about candidates, things that have happened in the past, our history, what we believe in, how we've been raised, and things of that nature. We start to think differently.
Hmm.
Some people remain in the past, or they
Hmm.
remain with this stagnant
Hmm.
view of something and they don't grow. And so you can do that. You can live your life that way. I'm not telling anyone how to live their lives. You can live your life that way. But I think you're doing yourself a disservice by stopping the learning process, right? Being so stuck in your ways. Now, there's some things that are just absolute, right? Like there are just some things that I'm just not gonna I'm not gonna move on.
Yeah, there's
But there are
lines in the
other
sand. Hmm.
yeah, but there are other things that you can grow. And if somebody tells you something, don't be so ignorant to say, well, you just don't know, you're stupid. Like if that's your comeback, right? Then that tells me there's so much growth that you need to do that we can't even have this conversation, right? Because I have to meet you where you are. So we can't even have this conversation right now because there's still growth that needs to take place. And then when it does, then we can, have a
Hmm.
conversation. But listen, I'm not saying I'm perfect. There, like I said, I'm thick-headed in some ways, and there are things that I'm just, I draw a line in the sand. But as I continue to grow and get older, I'm realizing that that might not be the absolute truth, or there might be some movement in that in that mindset. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. With social media, I guess it's whatever the flavor is for that day, and whatever. But I just think that you got to do the research. You got to commit to the research. And for those who do, they continue to educate themselves and grow. And for those who don't, they remain stagnant in their thinking. And that's
Yeah.
okay too, if that's where you want to be.
I think you should question and evaluate everything. Take things and turn things around three-dimensionally all the time. I think the people who can learn the best are typically children, and I try to keep my brain in a child state of learning, right? Like always, like why? You mentioned the teacupping thing, and it's funny. In the last week, several people have mentioned that, and it's the kind of thing you go, why is that? Why is that a problem? I get it. Oh, this is bad, but it's not immediately like, okay, it's bad, you shouldn't do it. Why is it bad? What's happening when you're doing that makes it bad? These are the kind of, your brain should stay working like this and figure out why you shouldn't do things. We're successful at things when we know why. That's really the important thing. Lewis?
You should always try to expand your knowledge base. And as for thinking like a child, I'm lucky. I'm just a kid at heart. So
I think a lot of us.
I still make a mess. So it's like, yeah, what the hell? But,
Yeah.
but no, you bring up a good point. People should always expand their knowledge base, especially people that are stuck in the past. It's horrible. Here in Florida, for example, a lot of people are stuck in this mindset of, oh well, it's as good as it's going to get. We shouldn't change things. We shouldn't advance. We shouldn't do this. I'm like, well, why the hell are you still thinking like it's 1985? This is the year 2021. We should advance. We should be thinking outside the box. We should be thinking, well, what the hell? Like, you in Connecticut, you have open carry, right?
Yes, both open and concealed.
Yeah, not in Florida. We don't have open carry. We're one of 4 states in the country that doesn't have open carry. And when I bring it up to gun owners here, they're stuck in the past. Like, oh, well, there's going to be blood in the streets and there's going to be violence and people should know if I'm carrying. And I look at them and I go, what the hell's wrong with you? This is a Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is a civil rights issue. Why are you hiding in the closet? Why are you literally not being proud about being a gun owner? You should be out there in the streets saying, hey, I'm a gun owner. I don't give a shit what.
Well, and open carry might not be for some people in certain situations. But what does that doesn't have anything to do with other people, right? It may be perfect for other people, or then there might be, you might be the person that one situation, open carry's awesome and perfect, and another one you prefer to go a different way. What's wrong with that?
Last I checked, people should have the choice if they want open carry or not. I mean, it's Florida. It's hotter than hell for 11 months out of the year, and then we get that one day of the year we call Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's true. The best thing for this heat and humidity, where people like to wear short shorts and flip flops, is probably open carry. Okay, so listen, let's get to a couple of things here. Unless you've got something, Olivia, that you wanted to get into. Vanessa Kitty from your state of Connecticut wants to know, what's your first firearm purchase?
My first firearm purchase, and I say this proudly, by the way, was the M&P 9 1.0. It was the original full-size firearm that I purchased, and I love it. I almost sold it, and I'm glad I didn't. And I love it. I love it. I love it. And so my carry is the M&P 2.0 compact. I have what do I have on there? I have a Holosun 508T on there, and the TLR 7A weapons modified.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
10
right.
round capacity, because that's all we can have in Connecticut.
Okay. So okay. Let's see here.
I'm stuck in the past. I'm carrying a 1985 made Smith & Wesson 645 like Miami Vice.
Well, you got the shirt. You got everything going on, man.
Oh, I'm down in Miami right now.
You are Mr. Miami Vice. You are former law enforcement, right? Not too long ago, you were a police officer.
Yep. Just recently retired.
Yeah. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
You got wait, all right, Lewis, are you in Florida? Because you got the little Miami Vice thing going on
yeah,
here.
I'm in Miami,
yeah.
girl.
Check him out. Look at. First of all, go sideways so we can see everything. Can you go sideways on your camera? I don't know if that's Boom! Look at that.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, boom,
yeah,
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
I didn't even see
Oh,
what is
and by
oh
the way,
wow.
yeah. By the way, in case you don't know, he is cute. Wait,
That is dope.
there's ARs and everything on that.
I love
Yeah,
it. I
and
love it.
and he's also Cuban, so he's 100% Mr. Miami Vice.
And you wear it with such confidence.
Yeah,
I
oh
hear
yeah,
you.
there's no shame. There is 0.000%
Hey,
shame.
I probably wear the
Yes.
Cuban flag.
Living your truth. I love
Yeah,
it.
la vida loca,
That's right.
with Lewis here. Yeah, man. While we're on the subject of you being Cuban, what do you think about all this stuff going on in Cuba?
It's it it's passionate for me because I still
Mhm.
have family on the island.
Okay.
And for folks that don't know, the majority of my family came to the U.S. in 1961 from Cuba. My uncle Mario Gerbau, he came to the U.S. prior to that, and he came to the U.S. for one reason because he was actually recruited by the CIA and helped organize Brigade 2506, which was the Bay of Pigs invasion.
Oh wow. Okay.
Um,
That's deep. I didn't know that, man.
yeah.
Mm.
So for what's going on in Cuba right now, it's very personal, especially being down here in Miami, seeing it up front, seeing how the Biden administration flat out is ordering the Coast Guard to blockade Americans from going to Cuba to provide relief and support.
Mm-hmm.
It's revolting. It's gut wrenching.
Wait, so they're actually trying to stop people from going there to help out?
Yes,
Okay.
the
Interesting.
the coast the station commander for the Miami Coast Guard station down by Miami Beach. He flat out said that do not go to Cuba. It's against the law. We will stop you. We will blockade you. We will turn you back.
Hmm.
And it's horrible because I know plenty of Cuban Americans and other folks that all they want to do is they want to go down there and they want to bring food, they want to bring
Yeah.
medical supplies, they want to
Right.
bring cell phones, and they're being turned around. Yet, isn't the whole thing of the United States is that we're supposed to go around and provide aid and comfort and support to people that want to fight totalitarianism?
Mm-hmm. I think
So,
So I'm not sure where you're on with this thing. I know we've talked about this before. Like me personally, I think ultimately a lot of places outside of America, Americans have to do this too. But people have to save themselves. This is one of the things I
oh yeah,
believe, right? You have to like learn how to stand up and fight for your country and make it better. I was born in Guyana in South America. And it's not in the best of shape either, right? There's stuff going on in Haiti right now and all that. So I believe that the folks in that country and even the people here from that country, if they want to make a difference, they need to go back there and fight and make a difference if that's what it comes down to.
well,
But
you
the
got
act of
people
action. Go
you
ahead.
got people trying to go back to
Mhm.
make a difference, and they're being blocked.
Yeah.
But as for the people on the island, one of the first things that Fidel Castro did was he instituted gun control.
Hmm.
He went around the country and he said, "No, you need to register your guns with us because we'll keep you safe." He did what every totalitarian regime has always done: had people trade their liberty and freedoms for a false sense of security.
And
And
how
he
did Castro get in there in the first place? I mean, this is the reason. This is the reason why he did it,
well,
right? How did he get in? And then
he
once
got
he
in.
got in, he blocked everyone else from trying to get
Yeah,
in.
he got in through the force of arms.
Hmm.
The July 26 movement. He co-opted an actual movement where people wanted to better themselves. For everyone that doesn't realize, the revolution in Cuba wasn't just Fidel Castro. You had social democrats, you had constitutionalists, you had people that wanted to restore the Cuban government to its pre-Batista regime style of government, where there was a constitutional parliamentary republic, where people voted for an elected representation in an upper and lower house, where the president was actually elected to office, and people wanted to return to that. And Castro co-opted that movement and completely crushed it through the July 26 movement and made himself a dictator for life. And what he did is he instituted gun control, and he went after people. The moment he took away the guns from the people, he then took away their personal property and their businesses, and then he took away their freedoms and, sadly, their lives. And the communist government has been doing that now for 62 years.
Yeah, even after his death.
Yeah, people in Cuba right now, the only thing they have to fight, and they are fighting, is the only thing they have to fight with is harsh words and sticks and stones against the Cuban government. And they are trying to exercise their freedoms of speech. And if they do so and they go outside of their homes, the Black Berets, the secret police, will round them up and yank them off the streets. And some of these people, sadly, will never be seen again, because all that will happen is they'll get a bullet in the back of the head and they'll be thrown in an unmarked grave somewhere. So when people here in the United States constantly say, oh, well, we should compromise on gun rights, we should register our guns, or I'm fine with universal background checks, or I'm fine with no. Because every time, every totalitarian dictatorship, whether it was right-wing or left-wing, it doesn't matter, they always did gun control. And the end result was always people being oppressed and people being murdered. The largest murderers in the 20th century was government. And I mean, starting from the 20th century to ending of the 20th century, government was the largest murderers of people. From the Armenian genocide in Turkey, through the Holocaust, through the purges in China with the Cultural Revolution, through what happened in the Eastern Bloc, Cuba, Venezuela, to the genocides in the Balkans, it doesn't matter. Gun control was always one of the first tools to implement that. And I'm telling, as I always tell your listeners and your viewers, no matter what, never give up your guns. Because right now, if you want a prime example of the differences, look at 90 miles from Florida. Look at Cuba. You have people striving, wanting to make their country a better place, and they can't because they're disarmed. And like my Uncle Mario always told me as a kid growing up, disarmed people are slaves of the state. That's what makes the difference in Florida and in the United States. You've never had an armed slave. Slaves were never armed because armed people are free. But the moment you're disarmed, you become a slave to the state. And for me in Cuba, if I could, I'd load up one of the damn boats and I'd be shipping guns over there. Yeah, sending medical supplies is great. Sending food is great. I'd be sending the best thing that would help them. I'd go to every damn pawn shop here in Miami if I had the money. And I'd be going, all right, there's a Glock, there's a Beretta, there's a Sigma, there's a Ruger. Here you go. Go after the government. Because in the end, I don't want what happened in Cuba to happen here in the United States. Our founders purposely instituted the checks and balances we have in our government to prevent that. That's why we have a First Amendment. That's why we have a Second Amendment. And for folks that don't know, the Constitution doesn't grant you anything. The Constitution simply lists rights you're born with. You were born with the freedom of speech, and you were born with the right to keep and bear arms. And it's that right to keep and bear arms that lets us peacefully protest our government and address grievances. But the founders knew any form of government can become despotic and totalitarian.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's why we have the right to keep and bear arms.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you want to ask any questions here, Olivia?
No, listen, I agree. I just think I think everyone who wants to own a firearm should own a firearm. Now, personally, I think there are some people who should not own firearms because they're just not mentally equipped to own one. And I see them walking around the streets every day. But I think those who are equipped and mentally stable to own one should. I don't have a problem with that. And I do think that it's convoluted in any government who are trying to restrict you of your Second Amendment rights. I think it's more sinister than just saying, oh, we got to keep these criminals off the street. We got to take guns away. I just think it's more sinister than that. I think there's something else going on because you're so adamant about taking away our firearms that it's just, it doesn't make sense. And if something doesn't make sense, you start to dig a little bit deeper. And so you discover that maybe there's something else going on that we don't yet know about. And the first step is restricting our rights, slowly but surely.
Very much so. Here in Florida, our modern gun control spans from the end of the Civil War. In 1885, when the Union pulled out and ended Reconstruction, the Southern bigoted Jim Crow loving Democrats took power. They amended the state constitution and they changed the right to keep the state version of the Second Amendment, and it basically says the people have the right to keep and bear arms, and then they added a nice little comma. It says, but the legislature has the right to regulate the method of carry. And they did that for one reason, because they wanted to disarm freed blacks. They wanted to keep freed blacks oppressed. And they instituted laws that you had to get a permit to own, and you had to get a permit to carry, and it was may issue. And they always claimed it was to stop criminals, to stop murder, to stop violence. Well, in 1941, Justice Buford, as a state Supreme Court justice here in Florida, in Watson v. Florida, or Watson v. State, he flat out said, oh, I know this law. Yeah, this law was never intended to be applied equally. We always targeted against blacks. We never targeted against whites. So, yeah, there's always an underpinning of why someone wants to disarm someone else. Always, no matter what. Because you always have a group of people that want to rule and oppress someone else.
Yeah, there's always a reason why people don't want you to be able to defend yourself.
So true.
I mean, it's like 1 + 1 = 2. You know, why do they not want you to be able to defend yourself? Let me switch gear. Do you know Diesel TV 32 Icon? Do you know?
That's my YouTube husband. I love Diesel TV.
Oh, okay. I'm just making sure because
why? What happened?
Diesel TV says 32 Icon YouTube husband is in the building.
So it's not
yes, it's my YouTube husband. I love
what
Diesel
does that mean?
TV.
What is? Okay.
It just means, you know, that's just my husband. I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought we covered this a little while ago.
No, he wasn't.
Now all of a sudden the husband is showing up.
No, yeah, like he has a channel. He's awesome. He's a police officer.
Okay.
So I'm sure he's enjoying this conversation.
Right,
and he's down in North Carolina. But we talk.
Is
off
there
this,
paperwork? Is there some kind of paperwork on this, or this is just a virtual?
It's a verbal commitment.
Oh, okay. Have you guys ever met IRL? You know, in real life?
No, we haven't.
Okay.
Everything
Right.
is listen.
Oh.
Who needs to when we have live and Zoom, right?
Oh,
we have all this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just I don't want to see you guys on an episode of Catfish.
Yeah,
man.
That could go. Yeah, you could take that so many ways. By the way, let me get in this super chat from Smash Time. I knew where is this super chat?
Smash Time! Tell Smash Time what's up. I love
Smash Time is in the building.
Cool.
He gave us a couple of bucks here. He gave us $5.56. 5.56. He says, "Let's do some happy talk." Laugh out loud. You know.
I got some happy talk.
Yeah, I know Smash Time likes to keep it upbeat, so do you. You know, I'm always down to go wherever the conversation goes. So, shout out to Smash Time. You said you got some happy talk, Lewis. What you got?
Yeah. It makes me so happy that it makes me pissed.
Oh boy.
As I told you when we started the show, you know, Nikki Fried, our Commissioner of Agriculture, today she released a tweet saying she suspended 22 people's concealed carry permits here in Florida because they were involved in the January 6 events at the Capitol. Now, I don't care what people's personal opinions are on it, whether you're for it, you're against it, you're indifferent. This is the screwed up thing. In Florida, you don't have to be convicted of a crime to have your CCW suspended. You simply have to be charged. Now think of that. Think of that for a second. If I get a politically motivated state attorney's office, or in other states, I think you guys call them district attorneys or whatever the hell. Here in Florida, we call them state attorneys. If I get someone that is politically motivated, and you know the old saying, give me a grand jury, I could criminally indict a ham sandwich.
Yeah, you could
indict a ham sandwich.
Yeah, there's so many laws you could find a law to charge someone with.
Well,
not jaywalking. Your windows are tinted.
Remember, to charge someone, all you have to have is probable cause. You don't have to have proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So that means that you could politically, through political malfeasance, you could charge someone with a felony, whether they're innocent or not, railroad them and strip them of their rights here in Florida. Because in Florida, we don't have unlicensed carry. You can't, like in other states, some states allow you to open carry without a permit. Some states allow you to conceal carry without a permit. In Florida, we don't have a right to carry; it's a privilege.
So these 62 people that they suspended, 22. Okay, the 22 people that she suspended their CCWs. What was the reason? Were they charged for something somewhere else?
Supposedly, these 22 individuals were charged with some violation of a crime in Washington, D.C. for involving January 6th. Now, whether they're guilty or not, whether they actually committed violence, trespass, whatever the hell. But again, just think of that. They weren't convicted. They were charged. It's no different than, Hank, if you were misidentified as the suspect for a burglary, and all of a sudden you get your rights to carry stripped away because, oh, well, you look similar to the suspect and you were in the area. Just think of that for a second. How that goes against your rights. You know, the whole thing of innocent
until proven guilty. Right.
Not in Florida. It's guilty until you prove yourself that you're innocent.
Right.
So that's one of the things that we need to fix here in Florida, and a great way to do that is to push for constitutional carry, which sadly, again, this past legislative session, it died under Republican control.
And once again, I would say this is a reason why people do need to pay attention to politics. I know that some people do not want to do it at all, but Nikki Fried got in there because we didn't pay attention to politics, and in Florida we elected a Democrat to be to sit as a head of the Agriculture Commission, right? And that's what she's on, that she can, which CCWs are issued through that, right? Because it's a license. Yeah.
The Division of License falls under the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, and she won the election.
Yeah. So that's what gives her that power in order to do that, and people should be paying attention to that, as well as the fact is I'm sure she's going to try to run for governor here next time around.
She already is. She's publicly announced she has her gubernatorial campaign already up and running. But the worst thing is, a good way to resolve all of this is simple: it's constitutional carry. And Florida is a Republican supermajority state. We have 102 Republican lawmakers in the House and Senate. We have a Republican governor. But it didn't even get one vote in committee this past session. It wasn't even brought up for vote. None of the lawmakers backed it except a tiny few.
Was Governor DeSantis asking for that? I'm guessing no. Otherwise, they would.
He has not spent a political dime in backing pro-gun legislation. He's not using his office as a bully pulpit. Nikki Fried, as the agricultural commissioner, she's doing press conferences about wanting the state Supreme Court to take up the preemption law and strike down the preemption law, even though she's not a lawmaker. She's not in the legislature. But we don't hear the governor going around saying, I want to make Florida an open carry state. I want to make Florida a Second Amendment sanctuary state.
Yeah, reverse some of the anti-gun laws we have. Like, so for example, in Florida, you can't buy a gun now until you're 21.
Exactly. And that was passed by Republicans.
Yeah. I mean, and then I think Go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Hank. I was going to say, I always found that to be quite interesting that you can't purchase a firearm until you're 21, but they're sending our babies off to war at 18. Like and showing them how to shoot a firearm. I mean, it's something about that dichotomy that's just very, it doesn't sit well with me. Like, you're going to send my 18-year-old to fight a war. He's going to probably come back all messed up. But yet, if he wanted to go to the to FFL or any type of gun store and purchase a firearm, being that he's very responsible, you're like, absolutely not.
It's crazy.
That doesn't sit well with me.
It gets stupider in Florida. You could be a cop at 19, and traditionally, if you're not in the military, you have to be 21 to get your concealed carry permit. But if you're in the military, you could get your concealed carry permit at 18. Mind you, you can't buy a gun. So the state will say, here, we're going to give you a CCW permit, but you can't buy a gun. And you can be a cop at 19, but you can't buy a gun.
Yeah, I mean, how are you supposed to be? So the same folks who did that, which, oh man, I'm forgetting. It's, what is it, Keith Perry? Is it Keith Perry?
Who, the lawmakers that pushed it?
Yeah.
It was at the time, it was the House Speaker was Joe Negron.
Mm-hmm.
The guy that pushed the bill was Senator Bill Galvano, who later became the Senate President,
Mm-hmm.
and the current Senate President, Wilton Simpson, who's actually running for Nikki Fried's seat, Commissioner of Agriculture. He's the guy that actually authored the bill that did all that.
And then I think our local Gainesville guy is a Republican. I think it was Keith Perry. I'm
Yeah. The majority of the Republican Party voted in favor of it all.
Yeah.
And
so I actually saw him, and I asked him why, he would even vote for something like that. He told me, because at 18, if you're considered an adult, you could be charged as an adult, all that kind of stuff. He was like, two things. One, he said it doesn't matter because his daughter was less than 21 and he could still buy her guns if he wanted to, which I was like, okay, so everyone doesn't have a dad who's going to go buy him guns, and there's probably, I mean, there's a whole bunch of ridiculous things with that. And then he also told me that he doesn't even think you should be able to vote until you're 21.
And these people claim to be for liberty and freedom.
Yeah. There's a weird thing going on. This is why I think, as Olivia was saying earlier, we have to look at everyone. We have to question everyone, even the people who we just naturally, let's say as gun guys, we naturally think, oh, conservatives, they're on our side. Republicans, they're on our side. Okay, you better question all of them. You better make sure everyone's keeping
on
up
our side.
Yeah.
It's just a carrot. It's just the carrot on the stick to get you into the voting booth, and at the end when you vote, you don't get the carrot. They just whack you with the stick.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. I don't know if there's any other questions on that from anyone out there. Diesel TV says, Hank, don't try to low-key trash my relationship. Okay. I'm gonna chill. Yeah, I didn't understand the seriousness of this this virtual marriage that happened here. What is that? Okay, I don't even understand what Smash Tom is trying to say. There's something Smash Tom is trying to say that I don't get it either. I think the chat is blocking him from whatever it is he's trying to say. Yeah, there's a lot of, even in a state like Florida where everyone thinks, this is the whole thing, to go back to the beginning where we were talking about, oh, well, you could just move. Well, we're in Florida. This is the nickname of Florida is the Gunshine State. Did you know that, 32 Icon?
Gunshine.
Yeah,
it's funny.
It's the nick. I don't think we deserve that nickname anymore because we have a lot of gun control. Yeah, we're not worthy.
Texas easily surpassed us on that. I mean, they got open carry, they got constitutional carry, they have a real Second Amendment sanctuary bill, and they even have an NFA nullification bill in law. You could build a suppressor in Texas as long as it stays in Texas. And the state of Texas told the federal government, "F you. This doesn't fall under NFA."
Yeah.
You don't have Florida Republicans should be beating each other to one up each other on who could be pro-gun. Instead, you have Florida Republicans trying to one up each other on who could be anti-gun, or just be quiet about it.
Because it's a stepping stone. It's a stepping stone to Congress, to DC, to running for president and all that kind of stuff. And it's not really. They don't care as much about people's freedom as they pretend to. First of all, Miss K was shouting you out.
Oh, what's up, Miss K?
Let's see. Doing? And LV Louis Cipher says, I suspect the Florida commissioner that's over CCWs is the reason why Florida was dropped off the Nevada recognition list. Was Florida dropped from the CCW recognition list? That's not...
Florida, to my understanding, the reason why Nevada ended reciprocity is because Nevada is now a Democrat majority state, and they're just looking at any reason to end reciprocity with any state possible. But part of it is because Florida's concealed carry permits last for 7 years, not 5 years, like Nevada. And Nevada requires that a permit they're going to recognize has to only be good for 5 years. Which Nikki Fried wants to drop it down to 5 years and makes everyone requalify every time you have to renew your permit. Which, again, that's why in Florida, carrying a gun is a privilege, not a right. We should have constitutional carry because last I checked, I don't need a permit to exercise my freedom of speech or religion.
Mm-hmm. When did this happen? Was this recently?
I think it was. I forget the exact.
Yeah, I thought the CCW in Florida reciprocated still to Nevada, but I could be wrong.
They've been going back and forth.
Yeah.
I know Virginia has been trying to play some games where they either dropped us or and then brought it back up and dropped it. I don't know. I have to look at.
Yeah, we're still good. I think. Are we still good in Connecticut? I'm looking right now to see. I think we are.
Were we ever good in Connecticut?
No, actually, no, we're not. No. I don't think we're good in Connecticut. No, we're not. No, I don't think we ever were in Connecticut. But I thought that we were in Nevada. But I could be wrong about that. Someone let me know. Big Dre 357 is out there. Shout out to him. He says, "What's up, fam? Hank, you got sis on here tonight. That's what's up. How are you at 32 icon? There you go.
What's up, Big Dre?
Big Dre.
Thank you for supporting. Appreciate you.
Yes, there you go. Let's see. And Check Your Six says, doesn't the Second Amendment give you the right, not a privilege, in my opinion? So,
I'd like to correct. The Second Amendment doesn't give you anything. It's just an enumerated right. You're born with these rights.
Yeah.
So, the Second Amendment in the Constitution is simply a specific right listed to tell the government not to mess with it. It doesn't grant you anything. Remember that, folks. You're born with these rights.
Yeah. And Night Train says Florida is something like only a few 100,000 votes away from going blue. The margin is pretty tight. So
yeah. It is and it isn't. For statewide elections, it's always close, but for the legislature, it's going to be red for a good long while due to the Republican Party has actually used gerrymandering to their advantage.
Yeah.
So every election cycle, they've actually gained power on the legislature, but for statewide elections like the governor, commissioner of agriculture, the chief financial officer, things like that, it's always a tight race.
Okay. And by the way, can I ask you, 32 icon? Do you usually not talk about politics and stuff like that, or
not particularly on my channel, but if I'm on someone else's channel, I will. The problem is I don't know what's going on in Florida, so this is all new to me. Right. So I'm just I'm just starting out.
Hey, I get it and I understand.
Yeah. It's probably tough to keep. Yeah, it's probably tough to keep up with just Connecticut on its own, man.
Yeah, I mean, I know we have our own political issues. I was telling you about the registration and authorization forms, and our politicians don't, they're anti-2A, like they're adamant about that. I'm sure other states are going through it too. So when you started talking about Florida, I'm just like, oh, okay, I guess I would have never imagined. I thought you guys were safe down there, but it seemed like you guys are having your own issues too. So it's all news. It's all news for me.
For folks that say, "Oh, just move to a free state,"
there's
no such thing as a free state because no matter what, it follows you. Just look at Colorado.
Well, they're saying that in Texas now. They're saying a lot of people are going down to Texas with the anti-2A mindset, and so it's changing part of Texas. I mean, I thought they were safe too.
Well, look at how it's changed Virginia and Colorado.
Yeah.
I mean. Yeah, I remember as a kid growing up, I had buddies in Colorado that went out there in my early teens for gunsmithing school. Colorado used to be an NFA-friendly state. They had state preemption. They had open carry. Mm-hmm. There was no assault weapons ban. Mm-hmm. Now Colorado just ended state preemption. They have an assault weapons ban for magazines. The cities are allowed to go crazy now, passing anti-gun laws. Virginia is going nuts now with gun control. There's no such thing. You can't move away from the problem, folks. If you want to fight this, you need to fight it. And Olivia, that's why your show is great on this because, again, you're an ambassador. You're bringing people into the fold that wouldn't have gotten into this because you're like the gateway drug. They see your show, and then they want to learn more. Mm-hmm. And then they discover, wait, where I live, I can't do this?
Wait, why?
And I thought,
yeah, exactly. Why? Yeah, how come I can't do that? Yeah.
Look, the biggest problem that gun owners have is until they are politically involved,
Mm-hmm.
the gun grabbers are going to win. Because here in Florida, we have over 2 million concealed carry permit holders, an estimated 7 to 10 million gun owners. And Hank, you remember at the lobbies, at the rallies that I've helped organize at the Capitol,
Mm-hmm.
what's the usual turnout we get? 200 to 500 people?
Yeah, if we're lucky.
Yeah, if we're lucky.
Yeah, yeah.
We should be getting 2,000 to 5,000 people. We should be able to swamp the Capitol, but gun owners are politically apathetic. And if you guys and gals just sit on your butt with the attitude of, oh, well, it's not going to be a problem where I live, guess what? That's what they thought in places like Colorado and Virginia. Oh, it's not going to happen here. It happened there. And it's going to happen where it could happen in Texas. It could happen in Florida. It could happen elsewhere, because California even used to be extremely pro-gun. California was where folks like Jeff Cooper, John Bianchi, they all the modern idea of combat action shooting started in California.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, the AR-15 was invented in Hollywood, California.
I mean, it was a cowboy state, even though people don't realize it.
Yeah,
You know.
the M16, the AR-15 was invented in Hollywood, California.
Okay.
And now look at it, because it was a slow, gradual creep.
That's something I never knew specifically. Like, I knew about Armalite and all that kind of stuff, but that was all happening
Hollywood,
in
California.
Cali? Okay. All right.
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah.
So folks need to get active, and it starts on the ground level. And again, the show you do, it's a great way to get people involved. So thank you.
Yeah.
Well, personally, I think that, when you come to my channel, it's not about politics. And I can honestly say that if I don't have enough information about something to make an informed decision, then I don't really speak on it. I mean, yeah, I know what's going on in Connecticut. I don't know what's going on in other states. I know what's going on specifically here. And so maybe I'll talk about it to close friends or maybe someone I see in the gun store. But as far as like on the platform, I don't. I try to just keep it, simple. I try to keep it open for all to enjoy the channel. I know some people come to my channel and don't want that. I mean, they've told me, I'm glad you don't talk about politics, but if like on my Instagram page, I might say something related to politics or what have you, or give my opinions. But if I don't have enough information to make an informed decision, I just don't. Some people just talk out of their behinds just to have something to say. I don't do that.
There's nothing wrong with that, because you are still an avenue for people to get involved. Because if someone is a fence sitter, if someone, like when you started, if someone knows nothing about guns, it's that trickle down effect. They watch your show and then they start watching other shows, and they could get politically involved, because again, you are, no matter what, you are involved in guns, and that is a political subject. So even though you don't bring politics into your show, the fact that you promote firearms ownership, that in of itself is a political action, because people don't even want you to own guns.
Yeah.
So again, kudos to you. You are back.
I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I think you're everyone's on their own path and their own journey, right? But it's obvious. Like someone was asking, I think it was Ant. I don't know. Let me see. Maybe I think it was Ant Carter. Here he goes. He says, "What's your opinion of the state of Connecticut shutting down the background checks with CCW holders and making it extremely hard to purchase firearms?" That was the first thing you told us when you came on. So obviously you're into this. You're sharing your journey. As Lewis is saying, that's helping to bring people in. You're aware of what's going on in your state. That's what you mentioned, and I think that's the first place you need to start. Ultimately, first of all, you have the right to run your YouTube channel however you want, but you are aware of things that are going on, and you're still on your journey. You're still learning and growing and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure you ask yourself, because we had that conversation in the beginning, how come I can't own an AR-15?
Right.
How come I can't do this, or how come I can't do that? And I think that's the big question people need to start asking. There's a lot of people in America that own guns and want to own guns, and in the last the last 2 years or something, I think if we look at the stats, the ownership with people of color, women, etc., has taken off. right?
It's
Versus
exploded.
whoever else. Yeah, whoever else was doing it. So here's a lot of people that are getting into guns. First, you need to get in. Then you need to ask yourself. Some folks are asking at the counter because they were looking at TV and they thought you could just walk into a gun store. Oh, I want that gun, pay for it, and walk out. And the first place they're asking the question is, "What do you mean I have to go through a background check?"
Right.
I
Yeah.
I remember there was a news journalist that experienced exactly that. He always thought, or he or she, I forget even the person's gender, but thought that, oh, it's easy. It's just cash and carry. I walk in, don't have to show ID, buy the gun, and leave. And they walked into a Walmart. And you know how Walmart is. Walmart made them fill out the 4473. They had to wait 5 days. They had to get the background done. They had to show proof of ID. The journalist didn't have the address that they lived at, didn't match the driver's license, so they were denied. And in the end, the person put in and this was the scary thing. They were actually honest. They said, I went into this thinking that, oh, it's so easy to get a gun. And then at the end of it, they realized, holy crap, it's actually hard, especially where they lived, because I think it was out in California where they had to get the draw. I forget what it's called, DROS. So they had to do some state form on top of the federal form and a bunch of other crap with it.
Some states you have to get a permit to buy the ammo. Is Connecticut's not like that, right? You don't have to get a permit for ammo.
No, you can. You do have to have a permit to buy ammo, but now you can actually go online to buy ammo. They just approve that or something like that. That's still new, but before we couldn't buy ammo.
Okay,
online
you could go online to buy it, but you still have to have a permit to go on before you go online. Okay.
Yeah, you have to send a license of your permit and your license and your permit, a copy of both.
Wow.
From what I remember, I used to always buy from Target Sports USA, and I would have to do the same thing, send a picture of my permit as well as my license, and then they would ship it here. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in some states you can't even do that.
Right.
You can't I know in California right now, if you want to mail order ammo, it has to be shipped to an FFL, and you have to have a background done just to get the ammo, let alone the gun.
And what state is this?
California.
Cali.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
I know that when we, for instance, I do some stuff for Optics Planet, and I bought some ammo from them because despite what people think, I still buy from Optics Planet even though they send me over products to review.
Yeah, understood.
They wouldn't I bought the ammo, they took my money and everything, and then they're like, oh yeah, we can't send ammo to Connecticut.
No.
And I'm like, based on what? I get it from other places. It was like, we can't, and they couldn't send me a completed upper. It's a lot. It's a lot you have to go through. But yeah, as far as ammo is concerned, I think they just recently passed something. But yeah, we can buy it online. Some places, not every place. Some places.
So let's switch gears here a little bit since we're talking about this. What are your dream guns that you would like to buy? Perhaps you can't even buy them because you're in Connecticut, but I want to know. So I don't care if it's something that you can get that you're in Connecticut. What are your dream things without those things all in the way that money is not an object, whatever you want, your diesel TV dude, your YouTube husband is like blank check, get whatever you want.
Okay, so I just started getting into rifles, so I don't know a lot about that. I just started getting into it, but there is this rifle. I don't know what it is, but it's from FN. And I feel bad that I don't know all the information, only because we can't have a lot of stuff here, so I don't even bother to. I just see it, and I'm like, I want that, but I don't bother to do any more research on it because we can't have it. But there's a rifle from FN that I like, the MP5, the MPX.
I think the rifle from FN she wants is on my shirt.
Oh, hold on, let's see.
It's the pink is throwing me off. It's the pink for me. I can't.
Yeah, I can't. What is that? What is that rifle?
I can't make it out.
Is it a scar? Is it a scar you're talking about?
No,
FN
it's not a scar. No,
describe it to us. We're gun guys. We will figure it out here in a very short period of time.
Let me see.
Is it a bullpup? Is it a bull? Is it a bullpup?
No, it's not a bullpup.
Wait, FN.
I'm trying to Google it.
Okay. I'm trying to.
When I get the info, I'll give it to you. But
Is
it's
it a
definitely
what caliber is it? 308, 65
I want to
Creedmoor,
say five. I want to say 5.56. Let me
5.56. Okay,
see.
it could be
I
anything.
mentioned it to a friend. It's I'm like looking.
Okay.
Um. Oh, the FAL.
Mhm.
Oh, the right arm of the free world.
Mhm.
I think that's what it is. A scar would be nice too, but and
The
listen, I want
FAL. That's
everything. I
old
want a
school.
staccato.
That's old
I
school.
want a staccato.
Mhm.
Um, what else do I want? I don't know. Everything, I guess. I'm a firm believer you can't have too many guns.
Mhm.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Preach it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is it you
No,
like about the
I,
FN FAL? What do you like about that? What's the
I don't, you know what? Like I said, I don't know much about it. I just saw it and I was like, I don't know. It's something about it. First of all, I know I don't talk a lot about FN on my channel, but I
Mhm.
love FN handguns. I really do. And so when I
Okay.
saw this, I was like, wow, that looks impressive. I, I would love a scar, but the scar seems a little bulky and the stock looks like an Ugg boot. So I can't get past that. I don't know. But I
That's
just,
the
but I
charm.
heard they're
That's part of the
amazing. I
charm.
haven't shot
Yeah.
one. Would you
Yeah.
say?
I said that's part of the charm of the scar, you know. And
Yeah, I mean,
it does look bulky. It tends to be a little bit lighter. I know there's people who say, "Hey, I could get a 308 or even a 5.56 lighter than that." I mean, that's one of those things that that people argue about and stuff like that.
and I
So
know Larry Vickers rave about, FN products, but
yeah, yeah,
it's
absolutely.
some,
By the way,
yeah.
where's my moderators right now? I'm supposed to have moderators in the chat. I don't know what you guys are up to, but whoever's moderators out there in the chat needs to get to work and do your thing. John Crump left a comment here. He says, "Sorry, I couldn't be on. Lola will explain." So John Crump was supposed to be on tonight. He's got some things going on,
Oh,
so we understand that. We don't mind that. Okay, so yeah, so yeah, definitely the moderators are gonna need to get real busy up in there, and if Lola is listening,
I'm not even surprised
she
that the
probably
chat
needs to
is
get yeah.
off the chain.
Yeah. I mean, no, there's no. I don't think in general the people who are always here are fine. I think
Oh,
obviously
okay.
there's always people who want to go around and troll or whatever. It doesn't bother me. Okay, so FN, what FN pistols do you like?
I like the FN 45 tactical, although we can't have the tactical here. We could just have
Mm-hmm.
the 45, so we can't have like the threaded barrel or the
Mm-hmm.
extra capacity
Mm-hmm.
magazines.
Mm-hmm.
I love the 509. I like
Mm-hmm.
the FNS9. I had that gun early on, and
Mm-hmm.
the FN9C.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't they have the 509? I wanted to try it, but it's a little pricey, and I haven't found a range who has it yet for me to test out. So I haven't been able to shoot it, but I
Mm-hmm.
know Colion Noir raves about it, but
Mm-hmm.
I haven't shot it yet.
Okay.
Um,
You guys don't
that's
have
about
the
it.
approved handgun list like Massachusetts does, right? Where it has to be like
No.
approved by. So as
I
long
thought
as
there's
it
no
doesn't
list.
have a threaded barrel or a magazine over 10 rounds, you could own it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
For
the
the most
most
part.
part, unless there are some pre-banned Glocks we could own too. It's like the pre-banned Glocks are like the Gen 1 and Gen 2s
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
threaded barrel. So
So
we
you
can
could
have
use
those.
the 17 round mags in it and all that.
But no, no, I don't think we can have the magazines.
I thought the
The
magazines were
capacity.
pre-banned. I thought if you had pre-banned mags, you were still good in Connecticut.
You know what? I might be mistaken, but as far as I know, it's 10-round capacity, pre-banned or not. Because even with our
Hmm.
ARs that are pre-banned, it's 10-round mags, unless you are law enforcement or military.
That
Okay.
sucks.
Yeah. So I assume it's like that with the pistols as well, because with our ARs, we can only have 10 rounds, pre-banned or not. So
Hmm.
I assume that goes for,
Are you
the
familiar?
handguns as well.
Are you familiar with the FN 57? Do you know what that is?
Oh, wait a minute. I have that.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. The reason
So
why I
that's a
just bought it, I
okay.
just bought it late last year,
Okay.
but I've only shot it once. I haven't shot it again. I only shot it once because of the ammo costs.
Right.
And
Okay.
it shoots nice, right? The little 22 caliber, but the gun itself is it's quite big for it to just only shoot a 22 caliber.
Okay.
But
So, well, I think it's a 5.7 round, which I mean, it kind of looks like, I guess you could say, it looks
a
maybe
22.
it's in that size thing, but it's it's center fire, and a little bit. I would say a lot. It's like basically like, how could you describe a 5.7 round? I'm trying to.
It's
It's
the
more potent.
small.
It's way more potent than a 22. It's moving really fast. It can punch through body armor and stuff like that. And depending on the like the thickness and stuff like that, it could punch through a lot of things. So it has more of a punch. A lot of people compare it to 22 Magnum, I think, and kind of 22
Okay.
Magnum is kind of like the
Okay.
poor man's 5.7. But I think
Hmm.
5.7 is a little bit in its own kind of category. You want to chime in on that, Lewis?
It's the 5.7 by 2.8 caliber, correct?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
have the
Yeah.
FNPS 90 as an SBR.
yeah,
So the idea that it's the equivalent of a 22 Magnum is wrong. It's
yeah,
far more capable than that. It's a great PDW round.
yeah. I'm trying
It
to
it
pull up
does
my picture. I just got one. I had one before, and I just got a new one. Go ahead. Sorry.
no,
I'm trying to see what that picture
it
is.
punches through some of the older. It was developed. The cartridge was developed in the 1980s to defeat Soviet body armor. The whole idea was that, oh my God, during World War III, the Russians
Mhm.
are going to be dropping paratroopers behind Allied lines, and
Mhm.
you're going to have all these cooks and orderlies and mechanics and truck drivers
Mhm.
armed with P90s and 5.7 pistols, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
they were going to shoot big
There's the
bad
one that
Russians.
I got there. Throwing that up on the screen
Yeah,
recently.
I see it.
Yeah.
I've only shot it. I've only shot it once. I'm gonna bring it
Yeah.
back. I don't know much about it. I mean,
Mhm.
I've only shot it once, but I have it, and I'm gonna bring it back. It's just the ammo. It's the ammo
Yeah,
prices.
the ammo's a tough
So.
thing. The ammo's a tough thing, I think, right now. The price. So in the beginning, it was a little bit expensive because only FN was making that ammo. But lately,
Hmm.
there's a lot of different companies, I think, getting into the game of putting that ammo out there. But yes, right now, I don't know what the. I need to look and see what the prices are of FN ammo these days. Um,
When I got it from Bass Pro, it was like $32, $33 for a box of 50. And that was actually pretty good because there
mhm.
was another gun store that was selling them $60 a pop for a box of 50.
Mm, okay,
No,
yeah, that's
Oh
the
yeah,
ammo situation going on.
yeah. I was talking to I see that Desert Wolf Armory is commenting. I was on the phone with him when I was like, should I get this gun? He was asking I was asking him some questions about it because I didn't know much about it. And
Hmm.
he was like, yeah, get this, get that, that sort of
It's
thing.
a
And
nice
so
gun. It's a nice gun to
yeah.
you
have.
made a good
He
choice.
talked me into it. He talked me into it because I didn't know much about it. And I've only shot it once, so I
Hmm.
guess I'm still learning as I go along.
Yeah, when the prices ease up here, I would say, and I hope they do soon. But and I think they've been coming down it's a little volatile, but they've in general been coming down a little bit. But when the prices ease up, that's when you want to get some of that ammo. In general, before all of this, a lot of people considered it expensive to shoot, but the prices have
Hmm.
been coming down as other companies have gotten into the game of making the ammo. What were you gonna say about that, Lois?
No, I was just saying that it's a great cartridge. It's
Mm-hmm.
as you said, other manufacturers have been jumping in the game. The
Mm-hmm.
biggest uh, uh, game changer was Ruger jumping in with their pistol. The
Yes.
fact that you have them producing their pistol has like extremely blew the popularity of the cartridge now.
Yeah. Have you
Uh,
seen the Ruger version, the Ruger 5.7?
I haven't shot it, but I did
Mm-hmm.
play around with it in the store. The only thing I don't like about it, from what I've seen, is the reset. I couldn't really feel the reset when I was dry
Mm.
firing.
Okay.
So because of that, and I remember when it first came out, the gun store that I frequent, he was like, "Liv, you gotta try this. You gotta shoot this." And I didn't have time to shoot it that day. So when I was playing around with it, I was like, I don't like the trigger. He was like, yeah, but it's still better. It's still cheaper than the FN. I was like, I don't know if it's better from what I heard about the FN. At that time, I didn't own 5.7. But I played around with it and I didn't like the reset, but I hear great things about it. So it's probably going to be a matter of time before I shoot it.
Yeah, I think a lot of and DLD After Dark says it's basically a neck down to like the 17 HMR. I don't know.
No.
Yeah,
it's its own cartridge. It wasn't
Yeah.
neck down. It was
Yeah.
independently developed by FN. It has no parent casing
Mm-hmm.
that it was designed from. It's a straight walled cartridge that has a neck on it. It's FN put a lot of design into it, and it was designed first for the P90 for the submachine gun, and then they built the pistol around it. And it was a really good idea. And the only thing that changed was NATO decided not to adopt it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a great cartridge and it's a great gun.
And I probably shouldn't I probably shouldn't have compared it to the 22, but it just reminded me of that because it was that small. And I don't
think I'm not knocking you at all for that. I don't think
No.
that's not
you did nothing wrong.
that's not a
It's a
problem.
shooting gun.
Yeah. You're still learning. I think so. Listen, I had one when I started doing this, and then I had a PS90 and I had one of those. I collect bullpups, but I wound up selling both of them because I had to like sell guns to get other guns in, and I really regret it. So that's why I'm trying to like get back to those guns. And correct me here if I'm mistaken, because I probably am. Does the Secret Service use? Do they use the P90 or I think they use 5.7 pistols, right?
The Secret Service had a specific contract with FN for the P90. When the original P90 came out, it had the white reticle optic. Mm-hmm. And the problem was that white reticle was washing out against targets and background objects, and the Secret Service wanted a black reticle with a red tritium insert, and that became the P90 USG for U.S. government contract, and they developed the pistol, the 5.7. There was a regular 5.7. And then they redesigned that to try to get the Secret Service to jump on board to do a twofer out of the deal. But the Secret Service just went with the P90 for close protective, for extreme close, high volume fire for their protective details. I don't know if they're still using them, but they specifically were the reason why the black reticle came out on the P90.
Okay. Yeah. It's trust me, I think it's a really cool gun. Lots of people trying to get into that space. And then, so far as the 5.7 pistol, I think this is where Kel-Tec's what is the name of the
I forget what it's called, but I know what you're
it's
talking
not
about.
the what is it? Oh man, CMR. There's the PMR. There's the Kel-Tec PMR, which is the pistol that uses the 22 Magnum. That's like a poor man's version of that. 22 Magnum, I think 22 Magnum is cool. I'm a fan of 22 Magnum, but it's rimfire. That's the biggest problem that you're going to find.
My dream gun would be an American 180 submachine gun and 22 long rifle. And like Ian on Forgotten Weapons said, it's a swarm of angry bees being shot at someone.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Someone wanted to know.
Is that pretty popular? Machine guns chambered in 22.
Oh, they're fun.
Is that a thing?
They're cheap as hell. It's the only thing you could shoot relatively affordably.
Yeah, it's the most fun thing to shoot. Any machine gun in 22, and then you could suppress it, which is so the beauty of shooting something 22, which is cheap, right? And and then you can suppress it, so now it's super quiet. Is amazing.
Yep.
Oh man, we don't have like that in CT as far as I know.
Right. Yeah. And I've shot some cool guns. Like there's so Walther from Safety Harbor Firearms, he has an AK-47 trainer. I think, is it Russian or Yugoslavian? Something like that. So it's an AK-47 trainer, but it uses 22s. And it's a machine gun, and it is one of the most beautiful things in the world to shoot, man. 22 is so much fun.
I I have yet to shoot an AK, and it's funny because
Oh wow.
quick story. When
Mhm.
I had my license for a while, I've been shooting firearm. I mean, I've been shooting handguns,
Mhm.
and a friend of mine was like, "Liv, you got to get a pre-ban because Connecticut is going to ban the pre-bans ARs. Those are for you guys,
Mhm.
ARs." And so I
Mhm.
was like, I don't know. I'm kind of, not that I was scared of rifles, but I didn't know much about them. I was into handguns. So he was
Mhm.
like, just get it. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna save my money. I got it. I got into it, started to love rifles, did my first AR-15 video, all this, all that. All of a sudden, I go into the gun store, I see an AK, and it had a double charging handle, right? With mag pull furniture. It was gray. It's a thing of beauty. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, this is amazing. It
Mhm.
was too much money for me to afford at the time. Plus, I had just bought my pre-ban. So I was like, I'll just hold off. I'll wait, wait, save some money up, and I'm gonna come back and get it. Well, then the whole Las Vegas shooting thing happened, and Connecticut politicians banned AK-47s.
Mhm.
And so when I actually had the money saved to go back to get an AK, we couldn't no longer have them unless you
Yeah.
were grandfathered in.
Yeah.
So I've
That's
never to this
crazy.
day I haven't shot an AK. I don't own one. Can't get
Yeah.
it either.
Yeah.
I,
It's so
I
crazy.
remember when AKs were cheap. I mean, I remember buying Tapco. Yeah, Tapco. That's a name we haven't heard in a while. When Tapco made receiver flats, and you could get a Romanian AK kit for like $75, and I was crank. You could crank out an AK for under $200 in your garage with
Mhm.
a press and a receiver kit. And now it's crazy how AKs have gotten
Yeah,
expensive.
how far back in the days was that? And even now in America, there's some companies making some good AKs too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm talking now close to 20 years building AKs in a garage with friends.
Hmm.
We'd build them for like $150, shoot them until they literally fell apart, and then just be like, okay, whatever. Scavenge the
Hmm.
good parts and start again.
Hmm. Yeah. By the way, Jay the Shooter is here. I don't know who that is. That's one of your people. He said all this time he was waiting for the live on the wrong channel. Damn, Jay.
Jay, where have you been? Now you have to go back and watch it because this is really good. You got to go back and
Yeah.
watch it. But speaking of the
Yeah.
AKs,
Hmm.
I saw a video you did a while ago, Hank, on the what was it? It was like the AK variant from PSA. Do you
Okay.
still own that? I remember
Um,
that video. Do you still own that?
I'm not.
Like
I'm not sure which videos. I don't know how
it
far
was.
back it was, but
I want to say maybe 6 months ago, the
oh
Palmetto State guys they came on your channel and you were
yes,
shooting it, and
right.
it went on
So
sale and I think it was like sold out or something.
yeah, so I never owned those. Someone from PSA came here to hang out with us on the range and brought those
Okay.
guns and we shot them and everything like that. So I haven't had a chance to get one of those. They've got some really cool stuff. I'm personally waiting for the 545 ones because
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that's I'm a
aren't
fan
those
of
a
that.
little softer shooting too? I heard that
Yeah.
they don't have as
Yep.
much pop as the what
Uh,
is it
Yeah, I
The
think they're
the
7.62
close. I
by
think that
39.
I think they're right in the middle between like the AK the 7.62 by 39 and 5.56. So yeah, I think it's a lot for me easier and more comfortable to shoot than that, and I'm a fan of it. And I have because I like I said I collect bullpups. I have a bullpup AK from Century Arms that's 5.45
Okay.
and I love that gun. So I've got some AKs. I got some AKs. My AK that I have right now that I like the most is from a company called Accutech, and that's like an American company that is they really build the barrel part of an AK, but they
Okay.
we built an all American AK with those guys, and yeah, it's pretty tough. I enjoy it. I enjoy that thing. So it's got a milled receiver, all that kind of stuff. So
Wow.
uh,
Yeah, I missed out. I missed out on an AK.
yeah,
I missed out.
yeah. You listen. It's not over. It's not over. We might be able to pull
I mean,
Connecticut back from.
if
Mhm.
someone has one that was grandfathered in and they bring it to the range, I can shoot it. But I'm talking about like ownership. Like I missed out. I mean, I have other firearms that have the 7.62 by 39 caliber, but it's not an 8K format. Like for instance, they'll have the 8K platform, but you have to shoot the 5.56 through it. And I'm like, well, that's not really a 8K because
so you could own an AK pattern rifle, but it can't be chambered in 7.62 by 39 in Connecticut.
Correct.
Can it be 5.45? Can it be 5.45?
No, they let go. They banned that too. So you can get 5.56 or 2.23, or you can get like a Norinco or whatever in 7.62 by 39. If that makes sense. So you can.
What year? So when they banned the AKs, did they do it by year, or you just cannot buy and sell one in Connecticut anymore?
You cannot buy and sell one after the Las Vegas shooting. Period. But you can have the, like he said, like the platform. So I guess I don't want to misspeak, but it could look like an AK-47, but it can't have the 7.62 by 39 caliber. Because then that will make it AK-47.
So my factory built 5.56 AK from Yugoslavia, my M90 NP, should be legal for sale in Connecticut because it was built from the factory in 5.56.
Yeah, we're not sure. We're not sure. We would have to
I'm not sure.
I know. I don't want to get into the weeds on it, but interesting. I'll look into it.
Yeah. I would say, so Kathleen Music Lover wants to ask this question. She says, what is 32 Icon's favorite pistol, Hank? I'm going to guess that it's a Smith & Wesson. And my first guess. My second guess is a CZ, but you go. You answer.
That is correct. Probably the M&P 2.0 compact, and then the CZ, probably the CZ P01 will be my second favorite handgun. Yeah, probably, but definitely the M&P 2.0 compact. I'm pretty simple, and let me tell you, I'm literally.
I like how you're saying. I like how you're saying like the CZ is pretty. I'm pretty simple. I just like CZs.
The only reason I say that because it's double action, single action. I just got into double action, single action last year.
No, I understand.
So
no, I get it. I'm with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love Smith & Wesson and CZ, and I have a story about CZ, but I can't really talk about it now. But maybe in the future. But I'm pretty simple. Like I really am. I'm simple. And I think it's because part of it is because we're, we don't have that many options in Connecticut. So a lot of the things that you guys talk about, I'm learning from you, the different firearms and, all that sort of things, because we just don't have the options here. And if we do, they're priced so crazy because we had to manufacture them in another form, like an other. So it's like I can't even afford it, so I don't even look at it, type of thing. So because I just get upset.
Yeah, no, I understand. What were you going to say, Louis? You wanted to get something?
No, I was just saying. Speaking of CZ, the Czech Republic, they just passed their own version of the Second Amendment to be added to their constitution.
Oh, really?
So,
good for them.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're one of the few countries in the world that has an enumerated right to keep and bear arms now.
Yeah.
Good for them. Yeah. Awesome.
More countries need to get up on that. Okay, so listen. Go ahead.
I emailed you a nice high-res picture of my shirt.
Oh, okay.
I love that shirt.
We need to pass that on to 32 Icon.
I love it. It's amazing. I mean,
the shirt.
What it is? It's the confidence for me. It's the confidence in which you wear that. That's what it is. And the jewelry. It's that. That's that.
He was born like that.
I'm not confident. I'm just a loudmouth Cuban.
Same category. So listen, we're up against the 9 o'clock hour here, so I do want to start wrapping it up. Check Your Six says, I'm gonna get this comment in from him. He says, Hank, great show. Sorry you had a douchebag trolling your podcast. It happens quite often. He says, wish I could throat punch that POS. And he says 32 Icon is a great guest. You should have on more. Just saying. Hopefully she had a good time with us, and we'll get her.
I did. Thank you for inviting me. I was a little shook. I didn't know what to expect, but I'm glad I came on. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties.
Oh, it's fine.
But we got through it. So thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. And Louis, I had a great time with you.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Um, Go
And
ahead.
you know, Hank, how I always say, folks, if you want to join GOA, simple,
Hmm.
gunowners.org/join, $25 a year. It really helps the fight.
Absolutely. So here's what I'm going to do. Before we end, we've got a couple more things we need to do here. I'm going to start with Lewis and let him like tell you guys where you can find him, how you can communicate with him. If you're actually here in Florida, he has a lot of good info on what's going on here in Florida in regards to the Second Amendment in Tallahassee. So I would recommend getting on the email list for that. But Lewis, tell the folks how they can keep in touch with you.
Folks, the easiest way to get in touch with me is to join GOA. Again, it's just $25 a month, or not a month, $25 a year, gunowners.org/join. For Florida specific, we have our own GOA Florida specific website. It's just florida.gunowners.org. So anything that happens here in the state, we post it up there. If you're a GOA member, you get email alerts straight from me on what's going on here in Florida. You can contact me directly through my email. I'm also on Facebook, of course, and I will be jumping more on social media as we get things here off the ground in Florida. So again, the goal here is to make Florida really the gunshine state. And like I always tell Hank and everyone else, I don't speak for gun owners. I amplify your voices. And if you guys are silent, that's all I'm amplifying is silence. So I need you guys to get involved so we can make Florida a better place.
Okay, awesome. Very, very well said. So, and then now I'm going to go over the 32 icon. Can you tell the folks out there where can they find you? What social media are you on? If there's any way to communicate with you, etc., how can they do that?
Sure. I'm here. My channel is 32 Icon. And if you want to find me on Instagram, I am LiveWFU32. So LIVWFU32. I'm on Instagram. And I post some firearm content on there, but mainly just laughing and giggling. You see another side of me and my interests. And outside of that, you could DM me. Feel free to email me at 32icon@gmail.com. And outside of that, that's it. I'm around.
All right,
So
all right. That's good. That's good. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run in the end of the show. I'm going to come back, and then since you're new to the show, this is your first time. I'm going to ask you to drop some words of wisdom on us as we go out here. 32 icon. So just think about that for a little bit. Let that percolate in the brain. So I wanna thank everyone for hanging out with us. I don't think we have a show tomorrow. I'm gonna take the rest of the week off. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on here I need to get done. So probably won't see us back here until a Monday, I think. So I'll keep everyone posted on what's going on with that.
Hank, before you
Sure.
leave,
What's up?
what's the difference between tonight's show and Monday's show? Someone said something about Monday's show.
Oh, so like Monday is usually free for all Monday. We get a little crazy. It's usually
Oh, okay.
myself, Babyface P, and Walter, and then we might have someone else come on. If you want to be on a free for all Monday, we could arrange that.
I just didn't know what was so special about a Monday night instead of a
No,
Tuesday night. That's
it just gets real crazy.
okay. All right, I'll
Yeah.
say my
Thank
safe
you,
space.
Hank.
I'll stay with Tuesday nights.
Oh. Yeah, we usually go Monday to Friday. We usually go Monday to Friday. I'm keeping it.
Oh.
It's a short week, but yeah, Monday night we leave for just all the craziness. I want to shout out Barnauls, for sponsoring the show. Makers of performance steel case ammunition. We appreciate those guys. I want to thank everyone for joining us here. You guys stay right there. I'm gonna run in the end. We're gonna come back. 32 Icon's gonna drop some words of wisdom on us. Here goes the end. We're coming right back. All right, guys. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. It's been a great, fun show. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please smash your thumbs ups, ring the bell. We're gonna take the audio out of this and throw it up on iTunes and all your other favorite places to listen to audio podcasts. We appreciate all the folks listening to us around the world as well as here in America. Lots of people enjoying the show tonight. Both Lewis and Olivia 32 Icon. It's all you guys have made a fun show. I've really had a good time. I hope you guys have as well. So and let's do this. Hit us with your words of wisdom. 32 Icon. What you got?
Well, I'll just say as you navigate life, just be mindful of people and the things they're going through and treat one another with kindness.
There you go. Awesome.
That's
Thanks
it.
so much. We're out of here. We'll see you guys later. Peace. We're out.
Awesome.